Mets baseball is on the air tonight. It's the Mets and the Tigers. Game 2 of this 3-game series from Comerica Park in Detroit. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by the all-new 2017 Hyundai Elantra. It's not just new, it's better. By Geico, the #1 insurer in the New York market. By Citi, proud partner of the New York Mets. By Fios, by Verizon. Fios is not cable, we're wired differently. Visit getfios.com today. And by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. Mets looking to snap a 5-game losing streak to the Tigers dating back to 2011. They look to change the narrative here at Comerica Park tonight. Some of the great names in baseball history have played here, but it's the Mets who look to get back in the win column tonight. Hi, everybody. Gary Apple back alongside Keith Hernandez. Gary Cohen has this weekend off. Mets coming off a 4-3 defeat at the hands of the Tigers last night. And a couple of key early plays in that game, Keith, really changed the outcome.
Well, the first one in the first inning, and this is something that has to stop when Syndergaard is on the mound. They want to steal Kinsler. Ian Kinsler leads off with a base hit, steals a first, a second, and third, winds up scoring. That's one gift run right there. And then in the bottom of the fourth, when the Mets took a 2-1 lead, the 2-run home run by Victor Martinez gave the 3-2 lead, and here the double following the home run. Clearly, J.D. Martinez came off the bag here. The Mets did not challenge. There was a communication problem underneath, or they were told not to challenge. It was too late when they said he was off the bag. That would have been overturned. That run wound up scoring, and that was the difference in the ball game right there. The Mets could have won this game 3-2, and it's my understanding that Sandy Alderson was livid.
Let's get a look at the Mets lineup tonight, and it's presented by Geico. And the manager, Terry Collins, he continues to mix and match as he looks for answers.
Well, a lot of injuries on this ball club with the everyday players, a lot of the right-handed bats. Terry Collins is just with a Band-Aid lineup here with the left-hander on the mound for the Tigers. You see all the injuries right there. Cespedes, of course, is the big one. Ruggiano was going to play a lot of center field, a right-handed bat for the left-handers. Well, they're all down right now. So this is a lineup, a stopgap measure for Terry Collins, and they're hoping to get a W tonight. They need a win.
As you say, the lefty on the mound for the Tigers, young lefty Matt Boyd. For the Mets, it's going to be Logan Verrett. No decision last time out against the Yankees. He went 5 innings and gave up 3 runs.
Well, this is his 6th consecutive start. He's 0-1 with an ERA of 4.50 over 30 innings. But in those 4 of those 5 starts, he's gone 6 innings or deeper, and that's what you want from your 5th starter. He's kept them in the ball game. Hasn't been knocked out early where you tear up the bullpen. So he's looking to get off the snide and get a W here tonight.
So it's game 2 between the Mets and the Detroit Tigers. Mets looking to bounce back from last night's defeat and make it consecutive wins for the first time in a month. First pitch is on the way. Brought to you by Cadillac. Visit tristatecadillac.com for exceptional offers. By StubHub, looking for great seats? Head to StubHub, the official ticket marketplace of the New York Mets. And by the State Farm agent of the game, John Garfinkel of Brooklyn. Contact John at johngarfinkel.com. Get to Citi Field on Saturday, August 13th to watch the Mets take on the San Diego Padres at 7:10. Plus, stay after the game as Styx, one of the most popular rock groups of all time, performs as part of the Mets post-game concert series presented by Budweiser. Admission to the concert is included in the price of the game ticket. For tickets, visit Mets.com/concerts. As we get a look at the road ahead right now, it's presented by GMC. 2 more with the Tigers, including tonight. Then an off day on Monday as the Mets going to come back home and take on the Diamondbacks. Zach Greinke expected to pitch for the Diamondbacks on Tuesday, and then the San Diego Padres. We're getting set for Game 2 between the Mets and the Tigers. Logan Verrett and Matt Boyd going to square off. First pitch when we come back. In interleague play so far this year as they get set to face off against the young lefty Matt Boyd.
Well, Matt Boyd was originally drafted by the Toronto Blue Jays, broke in last year, had a really tough year last year. Traded mid-season in that David Price trade that sent David Price to Toronto. He is on a current hot streak right now. The month of July, he had 4 starts, went 2-0. And there's the Coors Light Tiger outfield. J.D. Martinez, we highlight him. They got the big double last night. The great hitter at first base, Miguel Cabrera. And Kinsler, also a top-notch player. And Jared Saltalamacchia behind the plate.
So Matt Boyd pours in the first pitch for a called strike. Nobody in this Mets lineup tonight has faced Matt Boyd before. The only member of this Mets team that has faced him is Asdrubal Cabrera, and he remains out on the 15-day DL.
Mets have 3 left-handers in the lineup tonight against the lefty: Granderson, Bruce, and Kelly Johnson. And they have no right-handers on their bench for this game. All left-handed bench.
Count evens at 2-2. Don't forget Granderson began his career here with the Tigers. Spent 6 seasons with Detroit. Went 0 for 4 last night. Here's the 2-2 to Curtis. Swung on and fouled off.
Well, Boyd was a 6th-round pick in 2013 out of Oregon State. The Beavers, 6'3", 215 pounds, 25 years of age. Distant relation to Bob Feller. How about
and
that?
to the former First Lady, Dolly Madison is. Granderson hits one the opposite way, but right at Justin Upton, who makes the catch, and that's the first out.
And left field is a big sun field early. It was that way last night. You can see the shadows where the left fielder Justin Upton is looking right into the sun.
Ty Kelly steps in. He was recalled back on the 2nd of August for the 3rd time this season.
This is his first start since his recall, a switch hitter. 1 for 6 against left-handers. Really hasn't had much time up here in the big leagues. Remember, he hit that big home run in Pittsburgh. What was that, way back in, it seems like a light years away.
His first major league home run. By the way, the Tigers wearing those different names on it's Fiesta Tigres night here in Detroit. If I pronounce that correctly.
Tigres.
Thank you, Keith.
Okay.
Thank you.
I is E in Espanol.
Poquito Español.
And E is A. Tigres.
The 1-2.
And roll your R's.
Tigres. I don't want to embarrass myself. Ty Kelly hitting a .148 on the season with the home run that Keith talked about. Couple of RBIs. Sends one down into right field. Long run for J.D. Martinez, and it hits just foul. That home run against the Pirates came back on June the 8th, and this one just about 6 inches off the line. That was a game-tying 2-run shot. So the count even at 2.
Well, it just goes to show you right now with this lineup that the Mets are so overloaded with left-hand hitters. I know that Sandy Alderson is out looking on the waiver wire to see if they can find a right-hand hitter.
And Kelly takes it outside. First base runner of the game as he draws the walk.
Sandy wouldn't have to do that if Cabrera and Cespedes.
Well, it's been a challenge. It's been such a challenge, Keith. Dude out for the season, David Wright out for the season. And here we are, early stages of August, and searching the waiver wire to try and find that right-handed hitter. But it's what are you going to find on that wire is the question.
That's true. And Ruggiano only played, 2 games, and he pulled a hamstring. He's out. They got him for the express purpose to play center field against left-handers with Lagares down now. So this is a very banged-up squad.
That having been said, Mets find themselves just 2 games out of the second wild card spot at the start of the night as Neil Walker is behind of the count, 0-1. Walker had 2 hits last night. Comes into the game hitting .265, 18 home runs, 47 RBIs. Hammers one up the middle. Iglesias can't get there. Kelly round second, but he's going to stay, and now he goes as it's bobbled in center field out there by Tyler Collins. So that's an error on Collins in center that allowed Ty Kelly to advance to third.
Well, Kelly makes the hard turn around second base. If he doesn't do this, there's no error. But the hustle right there and the hard turn. Tyler Collins had to rush a little bit, and the Mets are in business.
So the Mets have first and third here in the top of the first inning. With one out as Jay Bruce steps in. He's 2 for 15 since joining the Mets, and Boyd looking to keep Walker close.
It looks like he almost picked off Cabrera there. Nice move to first base.
Bruce singled in the second inning last night, just his first non-home run in his last 7 hits. And that one's popped up on the infield. Kinsler barely has to move to put it away for the second out.
Well, shoot, the Mets just keep on struggling with runners on third base. Less than 2 outs. This has just been an epidemic. And Wilmer Flores comes to the plate, who has had a lot of success against left-handers. 7 home runs on the year, hitting .348.
And let me wish Wilmer Flores a happy birthday, 25 years old today.
Well, since July 1st, Wilmer's hitting .467 against the left-handers with all of his 7 home runs, 14 for 30 to be exact.
So a chance to do some damage here in the first. Walker's on first. Kelly leads off third, and Wilmer takes a cut. 0-1. Flores hitting .253 on the year and has really struggled against right-handed pitching, but it's been a very different story against lefties. Count evens at 1-1. Here's an interesting note on Flores. But of only 2 men to make their big league debut with the Mets in a game played on his birthday. Here's the 1-1. Swung on. Kinsler ranging over. And that's the third out. So the Mets, they threaten, don't get anything. We head to the bottom of the first. Red-hot Detroit Tigers lineup. They've won 9 of their last 10 games. Ian Kinsler, one of the most dangerous leadoff hitters in the game, is at second base, and he leads off. Victor Martinez and J.D. Martinez right in the middle of things, and Jared Saltalamacchia, the veteran, does the catching tonight for Detroit.
And there's the Land Rover numbers for Logan Verrett. And we told you this is his 6th consecutive start. His walks are a little bit high, a little up this year. But the Mets need a big outing from him today, and he's got a tough lineup to deal with.
Facing the Tigers for the first time in his career as Ian Kinsler steps in. A couple of hits last night for Kinsler. 37 leadoff home runs in his career. And Keith, you know, Terry Collins spoke about it. We spoke about it last night. I'm looking at these Tigers uniforms. They are the whitest uniforms I think I've ever. Terry said it. He thought they were. I always thought the Dodgers were, but these look like they were just soaked in bleach as it's in there for a called strike.
Well, there's certainly a contrasting color here, that's for sure. What is it, navy?
Yes.
The Tigers are a real dark navy blue.
Outfield playing straight away on Kinsler. It's a spacious outfield here in Detroit, not as much as it once was when the fences were brought in. Little dribbler down to third, Kelly Johnson. And that's the first out of the inning.
And we'll go right to the defense of the New York Metropolitans. That's always brought to you by Lexus. Ty Kelly, not only his first start in left field, it's his first start of the season for the Mets. And on the infield, Kelly Johnson getting a surprise start. He's done a pretty good job against left-handers since joining the Metsies. He's at third base. And Darno back on the lineup. They've been kind of going back and forth with Rivera. Rivera's DHing today.
That brings up the center fielder, Tyler Collins. He's played well since getting called back up from AAA Toledo. 15 games, hitting .279 in those games with 3 home runs. Inside. Collins had an incident earlier in the season when he lost a ball out in center field. Fans got on him, made sort of a gesture that nobody really appreciated when sent down to the minors, but he's back in good graces, full apology, and swings and misses.
Fastball upstairs. Oh, changeup. Little sinker there.
2 balls and a strike now on Tyler Collins, and it's up and away. Verrett going to see a lot of that 4-seam fastball, Keith. I know you and I had a 4-seam, 2-seam discussion, and that 4-seamer is something that he favors. And there's a walk. Collins is aboard, first base runner of the night for the Tigers.
Well, it's something you're not going to want to do with this Tiger lineup because it is such a potent lineup. And now you're getting into the thick of it, which is this 2-time batting champion Miguel Cabrera, hitting .310 this year. Another fine season. Victor Martinez, J.D. Martinez. You don't want to give any free passes.
Miguel Cabrera, 33 years old. On a tear over his last 15 games, hitting .455. So a tough task early on here for Logan Verrett. In there for a called strike 1.
Well, Cabrera has been on a tear, had 2 hits last night.
Knocked in the first run of the game on that ground out. Down to Johnson at third. Collins off first. And it's bounced outside of third, and so Verrett ahead in the count.
Mets playing Cabrera straight up. He has the ability to drive the ball to the opposite field, the opposite gap. We saw that. I saw that from him in the early part of his career when he was with the Marlins. He is some kind of hitter.
I love his 25 home runs this year. I think 11 of them are to the opposite field. Well, that's hammered out into left field, and that is a fair ball down into left field. It hits the base of the wall. Here comes Collins around third. Here comes the relay, and Collins is safe. And the Tigers strike first.
Dave Clark, the third base coach, I thought he was going to hold him up very aggressively. Look at the hitting right there. Let go with one hand on that changeup. Hit a bullet down the left field line. Well played by Kelly. Mets do everything right. Quick relay home, but just the speed of Collins. Throw a little bit inside the line. But speed kills. And there's not enough of it in today's game. The throws on line at the at home plate. He's going to be out, but the inside the line, just enough, and that's an RBI number 72 and double number 22 for Miguel Cabrera.
That brings up the designated hitter Victor Martinez, 37-year-old Victor Martinez.
Hit the two-run shot in the fourth inning that gave the Tigers regain the lead off of Syndergaard on a high changeup, and that was a no-doubter.
Cabrera leads off second. Verrett working out of the stretch. You know, Keith, Cabrera, another two-strike base hit. We saw McCann get the two-strike base hit last night to make it a 4-2 game. It's been a problem for the Mets in recent days.
Well, Syndergaard is just, in Syndergaard's case last night, which we've seen now, a little bit of a trend, is he's lost command of his slider, which is a put-away pitch for him, Gary, and that has been his problem. That, and I don't want to beat a dead horse. I'd like to see him throw inside more to right-hand hitters.
That one sliced down, foul.
It's a nice big crowd here in Tiger. I was going to say Tiger Stadium. That's long gone. Comerica Park. Beautiful crowd. Nice to see.
How did you like Tiger Stadium when you played there? Did you?
Well, I was just glad I got to walk. You know, you walk in those old parks and you realize that Ty Cobb played there, Al Kaline and Hank Greenberg, Charlie Gehringer, you know, Mickey Cochran. It's just, it's a nice feeling.
The 0-2.
And I didn't play a game in Detroit in a 3-game series when I was with Cleveland. I was hurt then. But I found out one thing about old Tiger Stadium. The ceiling on the dugouts are very low, and you stand up, you hit your head, and the little button on top of your hat goes right through your skull.
Did you do it?
It happened to me.
Oh gosh.
But a 17-year-old rookie. 17-year veteran rookie, excuse me. First year in the American League, I had no idea.
A rather rude awakening. 1-2 pitch. That's hit just outside of third.
Well, they got the big shift on Victor here on the right side of the infield.
JD Martinez is waiting on deck for the Tigers. Victor Martinez has hit safely in 9 of his last 11 games. And that's up high to even the count. As I mentioned, the Mets begin this night 2 games out of that second wild card spot. Miami taking on Colorado tonight. Cardinals are trailing Atlanta 1-0. That game's early on. Just misses to run the count full.
Well, the Mets drop a game last night. Miami came back and won their ball game last night with 4 runs in the 9th inning. St. Louis won 1-0.
Jaime Garcia pitched a masterpiece for the Cardinals, and Prado that big hit for the Marlins. So Cabrera once again leads off second. Victor Martinez. And that one's hit foul outside of first.
Nice play by the ball boy.
Logan Verrett, selected by the Orioles in the 2014 Rule 5 draft in Baltimore, Texas. Back to the Mets. Finds himself down a run in the first and in trouble with 1 out. Hit to the right side. Flores going to take it himself. Cabrera advancing to third. So that brings up J.D. Martinez. As Keith documented in our open, turned a single into a double last night, and that call that was not challenged by the Mets certainly came back to haunt them.
Well, J.D. hit 38 home runs last year, 102 RBIs.
That's taken in there for a called strike. Verrett will go to 5 different pitches: the fastball, the slider, the sinker, the change, and the curve. Well, the Mets have gotten from Logan Verrett solid efforts his last 4 starts. Not much to show for it. No decisions in any of those games. The ERA 3.86. But Keith, is that what you really can expect from Logan Verrett?
Well, you want him to go, like I said in the open, you want him to go deep into the game. You don't want him to get in the bullpen. The bullpen for the Mets is in pretty good shape right now. They haven't been taxed. Another nice block by d'Arnaud here.
So Logan Verrett having to work hard here in this first inning. This is his 25th pitch of the inning. Trying to limit the damage to just the 1 run. And that just misses. Well, that was close.
Well, d'Arnaud, no complaint there. Usually a catcher, when I think it's a strike, will kind of say you missed it, ump. So he didn't move his glove.
And that swung on and missed for out number 3. And so Logan Verrett gets out of it with just the 1 run. The RBI double from Miguel Cabrera, one of the all-time great broadcasters, Ernie Harwell. Tigers lead at 1-0 heading to the second. here in Detroit. I think that's the Detroit River right there. Travis d'Arnaud didn't play yesterday, back in there today. Begins the day hitting .245 to 3 home runs, 11 RBIs. All 3 of his home runs on first pitches of at-bats this season. Big rip. And the count evens at 1.
Well, d'Arnaud, since coming back, really takes a powerful cut at the plate.
So a lot has been made, Keith, of the d'Arnaud swing and the difference that he's made this year. The bat's a little bit forward and then he brings it back. And is there too much movement, motion?
It looks like he's not doing it so much here. There's a lot of swaying and back and forth. Remember, he had that the barrel of the bat way over his head. Looks like he's made a little more an adjustment where it's not so wrapped around his head like it used to be. So I think that's a positive.
Well, is it hard? He has not been playing every day. Rivera's been getting some playing time. Is it hard to find that consistency and get into a rhythm?
Well, it's always more difficult when you don't play every day, that's for sure. But it certainly looks like they've made a little alteration to his way he holds the bat now.
Well, d'Arnaud has started to pick it up, hitting .287 over his last 27 games. And here's the 3-2 from Matt Boyd to Travis d'Arnaud. And it's down low.
Yep.
Nope, it's not. Got him looking. d'Arnaud thought it was down low. He's got a word to say.
And I thought it was a strike. And let's look right now. Yep, it's high enough. Too close to take.
Home plate umpire Tony Rendazzo punches Travis d'Arnaud out for the first out here in the second. Kelly Johnson, home runs in each of his last 2 games. Takes a called strike.
Oh, Kelly's been doing a heck of a job. This was his 5th home run as a Met right here off Verlander. That's a humpback line drive. That gave the Mets the lead in the top of the 4th. That made it 2-1.
He had homered against the Yankees night before, and so would love to make it 3 consecutive nights with a home run. Little bouncer. Kinsler ranging to his right, fires, and that's the second out. Follow Mets Baseball live with the MLB.com @BAT app, which includes game day, live game video highlights, StatsCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com @BAT, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet. Rene Rivera steps in. He is the designated hitter tonight as Terry Collins looks to get another right-handed bat into his lineup, and Rivera has hit right-handed pitching well.
No, he's got a home run this year and .375 against the left-handers, and it's just Terry just, you know, trying to pull a rabbit out of his hat here and trying to get as potent a lineup as possible against the left-handers. The Mets are very vulnerable right now against the left-hand pitchers.
Well, this is Matt Boyd's 2nd career game against a National League team. Last one came, and only one came last August against the Cubs, Wrigley Field in Chicago. Two-one pitch. Swung out and missed, took something off it.
It's not a good location for a changeup, but the off-speed fools Rivera. I always want to keep a changeup away from a hitter. And you wonder why? Because you're getting the hitter out in front with the off speed, and if you get it middle in, the guy's got a chance to hit it a long way because it's off speed and get the barrel out on it. If you get it down and away, usually they roll it over.
Close, but the count evens at 2. Is that the natural move, Keith, to take it back, count as full to go out and get it?
Well, you're full by the off speed, and if it's away, you're going to get it towards the end of the bat. If it's in, you got a shot to get the barrel on it.
So Rivera walks, keeps the inning alive for Matt Reynolds. Second walk of the game for Matt Boyd here in the second inning. He walked Kelly in the first, and now Rivera. Well, Reynolds has struck out 7 times now in his last 3 games. He struck out twice last night.
Just gives the Mets so much better defense at shortstop, Gary. So he's got to play. You know, Wilmer's defense, Flores, he is not a shortstop. He is a second baseman, third baseman. And, you know, a play that was a little weak ground ball that Flores didn't get to quickly. And I'm not criticizing Wilmer. He's doing the best he can. He's really put in a tough spot, playing out of position at short. But I think you put too much emphasis on offense, and you get away from the defense. Defense is going to win you some ball games too, and could also lose you ball games.
I think he's the first to admit that he's not a shortstop.
He's not. It's not his fault. He's doing the best he can.
1-2 on Reynolds. Well, Flores is in there at first base today against the left-hander James Loney, who's been the Mets' hottest hitter, out of the lineup tonight. Curtis Granderson would be next. Matt Boyd, 25 years old. And that is swung on and missed, and that's going to do it for the Mets here in the second. They get a base runner, but no more as we go to the bottom of the second with the Tigers leading it 1-0. Has not won a start since back on April 19th against the Philadelphia Phillies. Looking to change that narrative tonight as we head to the bottom of the second inning here in the Motor City. And Nick Castellanos leads it off for the Tigers. Justin Upton and Jared Saltalamacchia due up as well.
Castellanos 18 home runs. Big year for him.
New career high for him.
Hit 15 home runs last year, so a career high, and he's looking to build on that. He's on a pace to hit around 25 plus home runs.
As a good looking young third baseman, a lot is made of Nolan Arenado, and rightly so. As far as quality young third baseman in the National League, but Castellanos is in the discussion.
Well, Castellanos is not even close defensively. He actually gets pulled out of games for defense,
which he did last night.
Right. He's a hitter.
Taken for a called strike, so the count 3-1 now on Nick Castellanos. 0 for 3 last night, struck out twice in the game. Hammer just outside of third base. Well, the sun practically gone. That heavy sun out in left field is just about moved out now. Most of the shadows are gone.
Not for all.
Those in the crowd. Sunblock recommended.
Well, the Tigers have moved 2 games behind Cleveland. Cleveland beat the Yankees this afternoon 5-2. So they've got to win to keep pace, but they're 2 games behind the Indians.
Time now for the greater coverage of baseball. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. And right on cue there, Keith, the Indians getting the win today over the Yankees. Corey Kluber, 8 rock-solid innings. And the Indians hit 3 home runs.
So Castellanos is making Barrett work here.
It was the legendary Boston Celtic NBA star Bill Russell always talked about the fact you try to climb that mountain to get back in a game or a division, and do you have enough to get over the top? So the Tigers obviously trying to overcome what was a steep deficit against the Indians. Here's the 3-2 pitch from Verrett, and again Castellanos hangs in there.
Well, there's your Central standings. 2.5 games behind with the Cleveland win today. In the wild card, Baltimore and Toronto in the East are tied, just percentage points behind Toronto. So Boston is number 2, 2 games behind in the wild card. Detroit 2.5. So pretty good at bat by Castellanos, working the walk there.
A 10-pitch walk now for Castellanos. Second walk of the game for Logan Verrett. As the left fielder Justin Upton steps in.
He signed a big free agency contract in the offseason with the Tigers. I got to think he's a bit of a disappointment this year. Only 46 RBIs, 13 home runs. I think they were expecting bigger things from him. Well, there's the strikeout leaders right there. Up to number 3. Chris Davis is all or nothing.
Mike Napoli of the Indians.
All those guys up there with the strikeouts are all having good years, very good years.
Castellanos leads off first, being held on by Flores, and Upton takes it outside. And here goes d'Arnaud going to chat with Verrett. Mets are 20-20 in games this year. .500 with Travis d'Arnaud behind the plate.
Well, the last 3 years, Upton has hit 27, 29, and 26 home runs. He's going to be hard pressed to get there this season.
He's ahead in the count here, 2-0. And takes ball 3. So Verrett having trouble locating. Justin Upton, a .269 career hitter, went over 200 home runs this season.
Will he get the hit sign here?
He does. And he pops it up in foul ground. d'Arnaud comes over. Flores comes over to the railing, and it's going to be up and over.
It hit the wire.
Is that what it hit?
Yeah, it hit the wire that's holding up the supporting the home plate screen, the backstop.
Looks like they both felt like they had a chance at it, and then all of a sudden it was in the crowd.
Yeah, definitely altered its course.
Yep.
That's for sure.
Castellanos takes off, and Upton fouls it away. Well, we saw those stolen bases early in last night's game off Noah Syndergaard that you spoke about in the open, how speed kills sometimes. Certainly hurt the Mets last night.
See if they run Castellanos again. He might want to throw over. Not a very big lead, that's for sure. He's not going.
Grounded to short. This should be 2. Reynolds to Walker onto Flores, and a 6-4-3 double play for the Mets. 2 outs here in the bottom of the second.
Second double play of this series that Upton has hit into.
So Jared Saltalamacchia steps in. The veteran catcher. Last played on Thursday in that series finale game against the White Sox. Tigers give up a little bit of defense with Saltalamacchia, but they like his veteran leadership.
Well, 9 of his 10 home runs from the left side of the plate. A better left-hand hitter than a right-hand hitter.
Big cut. And the count evens at 1. That just missed on the outside. Well, Saltalamacchia, 14 letters in the last name, Keith. Longest in
6 syllables we figured out last night.
We did the counting. 14 letters, the longest in baseball history. The 2-1 pitch on the way, and that's hammered into the shift. That's Kelly Johnson on the right side of the infield to make the play for the 3rd out. So the double play and the ground out, and we go to the 3rd. Green carry for quarterbacks. There is a roster spot already in jeopardy. Plus, with position battles heating up, which players are grabbing the coaching staff's attention on Jets Nation Inside Camp. New episode on Sunday at 7 right here on SNY. Top of the order for the Mets. Curtis Granderson leads it off here in the third. Granderson led off the game by flying out to left field. Pops it up foul. Had a chance to visit with Curtis before the game tonight. We spoke about his time here in Detroit. He said it's tough to judge the ball out in center field. He said it's one of the toughest ballparks in the majors to judge fly balls out in center. And right on cue, he hits one out to center. Tyler Collins has a beat on it for the first out. I don't think Collins had any trouble there. Well, Tyler Collins has been a nice stopgap with Cameron Maybin in and out of the lineup because of injury. Remains out of there because of a sprained thumb. As Ty Kelly steps in, he walked in the first inning. Flares one down into right field. Long run for Martinez, but he's there for the second out.
Boy, quick 2 outs right here.
Well, one thing Matt Boyd has not done is go deep into games. Could behoove the Mets to try and get that pitch count up for him. Last 2 starts, he went 5 innings against the Astros and then just 4 1/3 against the White Sox.
Well, he was 2-0, Boyd, in the month of July. Had a terrible June, 0-2, 4 starts, ERA over 8. But July he went 2-0 with an ERA of 2.21. But in those 4 starts, only went 20 1/3, so he's going 5 innings. You know, he's 5 and fly, as we used to say in the old days. It doesn't
5 and fly.
Doesn't have the same import as it does, but as it did back then.
You know, Walker fouls one off into the crowd down in right field. Count evens at 2. Neil Walker, as you mentioned, Keith, the 18 home runs, 87 homers since the start of the 2012 season, most amongst National League second basemen. Takes that pitch up high and the count runs full. Two down here, top of the third. The 3-2 pitch. It's hit deep into center field. Collins ranging back, has a beat on it. And so 3 up and 3 down as we go to the bottom of the third. Here at Comerica Park in Detroit. It brings us to our timeless moment, brought to you by Coors Banquet. Oh, well, have you seen somebody there, Keith, that you recognize?
That's our production team, folks. It's like Bring on the Dancing Bears. Mr. Gelbs, there he is.
With the ice cream cone.
John DeMarsico, our producer, Dan Barr. Our director. Sorry, Dan.
Oh, director.
He's also an Oregon Duck.
Gerard Guilfoyle, Levi, the whole crew out there riding the carousel. And Iglesias. Oh, barehanded play, but not in time over there by Matt Reynolds. Had a little bit of English on it.
I'm a little befuddled how he hit this ball. But a beautiful play by Reynolds. This off the end of the bat? Change up? A slider? No, it's not. That's just a little ping.
Got under
get
it.
A base hit out of that. Yeah. That's not right.
A little under it. I think it did have a little English on it. It was just so soft. Reynolds came in on it. As you said, made a really nice play, but not in time. So leadoff single here, infield single from Jose Iglesias, and that brings up the leadoff hitter, Ian Kinsler. He grounded out down to third in the first inning. Flores holding the runner on at first. Kinsler squares around a bunt, but pulls it back. Kinsler second in the American League with 87 runs scored. So he's a threat when he gets on base, and there goes Iglesias. And he beats the throw. Another stolen base by the Tigers.
Slider, a little bit of that wiggle that Darnell has when he brings the ball back. Just got in.
Let's see if the Mets are going to challenge that.
I don't think so. I think he was safe.
I'm not so sure here.
Well, they missed one last night. It looks like they're going to challenge this.
This play under review brought to you by Mazda. Driving matters.
Here's the play again. Let's see. The hand got in. It's close.
I think he might have gotten him. You can see it without his leg in the way there when he got the tag on.
Here's a better shot right here. Oh, he's out.
Yep, he is out.
It's going to be overturned. It should be.
We know Terry Collins was not thrilled with the way things unfolded on the J.D. Martinez double last night. That play was not challenged, but he got word a little bit late after he had let the umpires know that they were not going to challenge it.
Oh, I think he's clearly out.
I don't think there's any question here that he's out. I know you guys talk about it quite a bit, Keith. The length of time on some of these reviews.
Yes, I agree.
On clear-cut plays, and this is clear-cut.
It appears that way.
Thank you very
much. And he's out.
Yeah.
So nice throw by Darno.
So the Mets win the challenge, and that's the first out here in the third inning. Count is even on Ian Kinsler. Big swing and a miss.
.128 on the review. The challenge.
That's in there for a called third strike. And so Logan Verrett picks up his second strikeout of the night.
They wanted the ball upstairs and he threw it on the knees.
So it goes as a 2-6 on the d'Arnaud to, I'll take it back, 2-6 d'Arnaud to Reynolds. Tyler Collins steps in. He walked in the first inning, scored on the Cabrera double.
D'Arnaud's taking a beating back there as Verrett is throwing around a handful of curves in the dirt.
Miguel Cabrera waiting on next. He would be next. And that one is hammered out into the gap in right center. Long run. Nobody's going to get there. It's going to go to the wall. Collins is around second. He's heading for third. He's going to make it easily. Tyler Collins, his second triple of the season.
Well, this ballpark here, let's see the pitch first. An up changeup. This ballpark is fair down the lines. The gaps are tiny, but you get it out in that center field area, and this ballpark becomes very big. And Collins with good speed gets a triple.
365 to the gap out there in right center. So Miguel Cabrera, chance to do more damage here for the Tigers. First pitch, and he pops it up. Jay Bruce has it measured. And so the Tigers strand a runner at third. That's where the crew is when we're looking for them. We go to the fourth. The Mets trail it 1-0. Jay Bruce leads it off here in the fourth inning for the Mets against the left-hander Matt Boyd. Bruce popped out to second base with 2 on in the first. Takes a called strike. Falls behind at the count 0-2. Jay Bruce's 83 RBIs leads the National League. That one went about 60 feet. This fourth inning brought to you by the 2017 Audi A4 and your Tri-State Audi dealers. Here's the 2-2. Hammered into center field. Collins on the run. He's not going to get there. And my friends, you can say goodbye. Jay Bruce, his 27th home run of the season and his second as a member of the Mets. And he hit it to one of the deepest parts of the ballpark.
Well, he did the same thing in Yankee Stadium. Hit it over to the 385 mark. He likes that ball down. And he goes out and gets that ball, and this is ripped. That was a line drive.
So the game is tied at 1 on the strength of Jay Bruce and his home run.
Right there, that's where he likes it.
Wilmer Flores now fouls it straight back just below us. Oh, and Bruce can get that bat out and extend it. He is a dangerous hitter. So Bruce now has hits in 3 consecutive games with the Mets, 2 of them being home runs. And 7 of his last 8 hits overall are home runs. Wilmer Flores behind 0-2 in the count. Travis d'Arnaud waiting on deck. Wilmer Flores 14 for his last 31 off lefties. Off speed, bounced outside of third.
I had a hard time seeing that home run ball. Did you follow the flight of that ball?
You know what? I've thought from the start of the night that
I lost the ball.
It's a tough sky.
I totally lost it.
It's sort of pale blue, and it's tough to see. Sort of lights are on, but sun is beginning to make its way down. Well, I wonder if that has anything to do with what Curtis Granderson had said to me earlier, that it sometimes can be difficult to pick up the baseball here. 1-2 pitch on the way. Flores loops it into center, and that's going to fall in for a base hit in front of Tyler Collins.
Well, I tell you, Wilmer can get some bloops with the best of them, and you'll take them any way you can get them.
Good piece of hitting there to go down and get it. So the Mets in business here, top of the 4th inning. Back-to-back hits off Matt Boyd to get it going, including the home run by Jay Bruce, and that brings up Travis d'Arnaud, who struck out looking in the second. Wasn't exactly thrilled with the home plate umpire, Tony Randazzo, but it did look like a called third strike.
I see a Ron Darling Met home uniform down behind home plate.
Oh, I see it too.
So Ronnie, you are loved, still loved.
Where is Ron this weekend?
Ron is out in the Hamptons. He's enjoying himself out there.
Popped up on the left side. Castellanos on the edge of the Outfield grass, then comes in a couple of steps for the first out of the inning. That brings up Kelly Johnson, who grounded out to second base in the second inning. Five doubles, 5 home runs for Johnson in 40 games since coming over to the Mets.
There it is. Now I want to know what number he has. Looks like he has number 12. I think Ronnie was 12 one year. Ronnie was 44, 12. Man of multiple identities, Ron.
Well, your schedule later in the season gets backloaded, right? Because Ronnie goes off and does some TBS games.
Once the All-Star break, after the second half, I have no weekends off. I have all the weekend games, and also I'm backloaded always. So I've only got around. I'm only going to miss around 8 or 9 games the rest of the way.
You'll be busy.
Yeah, that's all right. Hey, I'm always good in the stretch run.
You're good all the time. Flores being kept close at first, but he does not have great speed. Not really a threat over there. And you were lucky enough to draw the straw to work with me this weekend.
Yes. I'm actually glad I came to Detroit. I love this park. And where we're staying, I know that's 45 minutes away from here, but it's a lovely little area in Birmingham with nice little shops and restaurants where we're staying by the hotel within walking distance. This weather here has been spectacular.
A lot of people think of Detroit, and they've had some tough economic times here, but they're trying to make a comeback in the inner city and some of the suburbs here. You're right, where we're staying, spectacular. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and Johnson goes down swinging.
Good slider from Boyd there.
So that brings up Rene Rivera. He did the catching last night, and tonight he's the designated hitter. Well, despite the fact that he's a lefty, Matt Boyd has had trouble against lefty hitters. Lefties have hit .313 against him, so Jay Bruce taking full advantage of that opportunity. Flores leads off first. Swing and a miss. Mets, they have lived and died by the long ball this season. 143 home runs on the season now. Count remains 0-2 on Rene Rivera. Went hitless last night with a strikeout. Outfield straight away on Rivera. And he swings and misses. Back-to-back strikeouts to finish the inning for Matt Boyd, but the Mets get on the board thanks to a Jay Bruce home run. His second as a member of the Mets and his 27th of the season. Mets have evened this game at 1 apiece as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Victor Martinez fouls off the first pitch from Logan Verrett. Verrett, a 3rd-round pick of the Mets back in 2011. Texan out of Woodlands, Texas. Went to college at Baylor. '26-year-old right-hander. It's going to be Victor Martinez, J.D. Martinez, and Nick Castellanos for the Tigers here in the 4th inning. One pitch.
Good change up there. Good, or it's a breaking ball. So Logan is continuing to befuddle this powerful lineup. Yes, out in front. Good change.
That one is hammered down into right field, into the corner. That's a fair ball. Victor Martinez going to easily go into second with a double to get it going here for the Tigers in the 4th.
Well, Martinez has been red hot of late. Got a big home run last night, his 19th. Another changeup, one too many. See, when you get it inside, Gary, you allow the batter, to get the barrel of the bat on. You can see right there, he smacked it.
Isn't that where lefties like it?
They like it down, that's for sure. But you want to get that changeup away.
Another 2-strike hit for the Tigers. J.D. Martinez struck out in the 1st inning. Fourth inning is where the Mets found themselves taking the lead yesterday and then squandering it right back in the bottom of the inning. Two-0 now on J.D. Martinez, who with that pinch hit home run in his first at bat back off the DL on Wednesday against the White Sox. It was the first pitch he saw since coming back off Chris Sale and the crowd here in Detroit, trying to make some noise.
Good pitch. Little slider on the black. Good location.
So 2-1 here on J.D. Martinez, with Victor Martinez leading off second. And the count goes to 3-1.
Just missed with that slider.
The Castellanos waiting on deck. Middle of this Tigers lineup is tough. Right back up the middle, past the diving Neil Walker, and Victor Martinez is going to hold at third.
Well, Victor Martinez has had some knee surgery, doesn't run well. There's a fastball right down the middle, on a head in the count, just out of the reach of Walker. And it's kind of painful to watch Victor run. Very painful to watch him run. So
he is not going to score on many balls like that.
No, and it's nobody out, so you're first and third. You're set up for a big inning.
So Nick Castellanos, he walked in the second, has a chance to do some damage here. Couldn't hold up.
Another good slider from Logan. Seems to be his pitch.
Well, solid numbers in these sorts of situations. It's all Martinez's at the corners. Victor at third, JD at first. Infield at regular depth. Outfield straight away. Swing and a miss.
Good sinking fastball. He chased it out of the strike zone.
Logan Verrett facing Castellanos in his third full season with the Tigers. Logan limited the damage to 1 run in the first inning, looking to work his way out of trouble here in the fourth. Always hear, Keith, about pitch counts in innings, but high leverage situations add to the stress. Here's the 1-2 now from Verrett. Keeping JD Martinez close over at first.
I think the Mets would be happy to get a double play here, concede a run, and empty the bases.
Logan Verrett 1-3 on the road this year. Oh, and he hits him.
Now there's big trouble.
That's going to load the bases. Get him on the hand.
I think it might have got him on the. Did it get him on the elbow? It's hard to tell right there. I think it did get him on the hand. One to come upstairs. Sure did. Good call, Gary. Yeah, that hurts.
And on the outside there, those gentle, tender bones. Brad Ausmus, the Tigers manager, third year on the job, took his team to the postseason in his first year managing here in Detroit. So the bases are loaded now with Justin Upton coming up. Victor Martinez at third, JD Martinez at second, and Nick Castellanos leads off first.
Well, you got to throw a strike here. A dangerous pitch. As a hitter, if he throws you a slider in a good spot and you're 1-0, you can take it. But you got to be looking dead red here.
Upton hit into a double play. First time up in the second inning, 6-4-3. Swung on and missed, and the count evens.
And after him upstairs.
Mets have activity in the bullpen. Jonathan Neese is up and throwing. One from Verrett to Upton. And that just misses outside.
Verrett wanted that one, just missed. There's John. This is more of his role now. Bullpen, middle relief. Guy come in and chew up innings.
That one is popped up. Infield fly roll is called as Reynolds goes back to make the catch in shallow left field. So a big first out right there for Logan Verrett. Now he's a double play away from getting out of the inning. As the bottom of the Tigers order, Gerald Saltalamacchia and Jose Iglesias would follow.
Need a ground ball here. Get a ball on the ground. Saltalamacchia does not run well. The double play guy.
Verrett continuing to work out of the stretch. Took a little something off it to get ahead in the count.
Little slider right there. Nice pitch.
Saltalamacchia grounded out into the shift in that second inning. And again, the shift is on for the Mets. And that one is hit past a diving Wilmer Flores out into right field. Victor Martinez scores. J.D. Martinez scores. And a two-run single from Jared Saltalamacchia to give the Tigers a 3-1 lead.
Another breaking ball. Not a bad pitch, really. Down and away. Just Saltalamacchia went down and got it. And look, Bruce realizes he had to go to his left to get it. Had no shot to throw anybody out at home plate. Threw it back into second base. Prevented the runner to go to third.
Castellanos advances to second on the base hit, so the Tigers has first and second now as Dan Worthen comes out to chat with Logan Verrett.
And then a look at the pitch. It's a slider. He wants to backdoor it. It's away, but he reaches out and gets it down. Didn't break much.
So the Mets tie this game in the top of the fourth inning, and then the Tigers come right back to reclaim the lead. Double by Victor Martinez, a single from J.D. Martinez. Castellanos was hit by a pitch, then the pop out by Justin Upton, and now the two-run single from Jared Saltalamacchia. His 32nd and 33rd RBIs of the season. More work to be done here by Logan Verrett as Jose Iglesias takes ball one. Ian Kinsler waits on deck.
Pitching behind the count is just doubly tough for Verrett to pitch from behind the count.
Now Logan Verrett coming off a 5-inning outing last time out against the Yankees. 4 hits and 3 runs, looking to limit the damage to 3 runs here as Iglesias fouls it away. Now, the Tigers have been one of the hottest teams in baseball, and I think we've seen, Keith, over the last couple of nights why that's the case. It is a tough Detroit lineup.
Oh boy. Another hitter's count.
Castellanos off second. Saltalamacchia off first. Verrett about to throw his 80th pitch of the night. Here's the 3-2. Driven out into right field. Bruce moseys back, settles under it for the second out as Castellanos tags and goes to third. And that brings up Ian Kinsler with 2 outs.
21 home runs out of your leadoff hitter. That's nice.
Kinsler's hitting .301 over his past 25 games. Grounded out in the first and struck out in the third. He's got 2 runners on here in the fourth. What's Jarno doing right there?
That's the sign for the infielders in case there's a try to steal a run, a first and third stolen base, getting a run down or whatever, and try to steal a run. Those signs are for the, he's going to throw through, throw back to the pitcher, or fake the throw.
First pitch ripped into left field, going to bring in Castellanos to extend the Tigers' lead to 4-1.
Here comes Terry. That's it. Hanging breaking ball.
So Logan Verrett's night is going to come to an end. 4 runs already in here for the Tigers in the 4th inning. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by Verizon as Jonathan Neese is going to make his way in from the bullpen. Fourth inning for Logan Verrett, getting set to make his second appearance since being reacquired by the Mets on the 31st of July in that trade with the Pirates for Antonio Bastardo.
Well, John relieved 2 innings in that DeGrom masterpiece at Yankee Stadium. Gave up the home run to Gregorius, the solo shot.
Facing Tyler Collins with 2 on here in the 4th. First pitch. There goes Reynolds, the jump throw, and not in time. And so the inning continues.
Oh, the 9th batter will come to bat here. Inside out here. Nice play by Reynolds and throw. Clearly beat it. So all these ultra shifts. Sometimes a routine ground ball, you're out of an inning and it just blows up in your face, and there's a case right there. And they got the big bat up here now.
So bases loaded with Tigers, and Miguel Cabrera takes a called strike 1.
Taking all the way in that first pitch from John.
Cabrera doubled in the first run of the game in that first inning. Takes it the other way for a base hit. 2 more runs go to score for the Tigers, who have blown this game open. It's now 6-1. Saltalamacchia and Kinsler both come in on the RBI single from Miguel Cabrera.
So that's just good hitting right here. Tried to come inside. Cabrera, no intention of going deep, trying to hit a grand slam. Was set up to go the other way. He's so powerful. And that's his 3rd RBI of the game and his 74th on the year. And you're right, Gary, this game has been blown out of the gym.
Tigers have batted around here in the 4th inning. Brings up Victor Martinez, who got this inning going with the leadoff double. Scored on the Saltalamacchia hit. And the Tigers now have 1st and 3rd here, so still more trouble for Jonathan Neese in relief of Logan Verrett. In there for a called strike, and so Neese gets ahead 0-2.
So they run into a little Tiger buzzsaw here.
And there's a swing and a miss for the 3rd out, but the damage has been done. The Tigers get 5 runs and take a 6-1 lead. Mets legend with an inside look at Mike Piazza's road to the Hall of Fame on Mets Insider, presented by WB Mason, Sunday at 4:30 only here on SNY. Mike Aviles is the new third baseman for the Tigers, the 35-year-old New York native, 7th round pick of the Kansas City Royals back in 2003. As we go here to the top of the 5th inning with the Mets in a big hole, and Matt Reynolds leads it off. Check swing. Kinsler charging. That's the first out. Let's go down to Steve Gelbs right now. His report is brought to you by Jeep. How are you, Steve?
Doing well, Gary, and Miguel Cabrera doing well yet again. Another 3 RBIs tonight for him. And speaking with Justin Upton before the game, he said that playing with Cabrera on a daily basis has given him a whole new level of appreciation for Cabrera's greatness. Upton said, you see the highlights, you see the towering home runs, but what you don't see is the fact that Cabrera literally never gives up an at-bat, and he changes his approach to match the situation. We saw with that 2 RBI hit, not trying to go deep, just shortening his swing, going the opposite way. That's something that certain guys do, but generally, Upton said, the guys that do it are not the ones that can hit the ball 400+ feet on a consistent basis.
Well, there's no doubt about that. And I saw this guy back in as a budding star with the Marlins, and the ability to drive that ball to the opposite field sold me on him early. And what a career. Lifetime batting average over 320.
Keith, something else that Justin Upton noted as well was how natural that swing is.
Yes.
And it goes back to what you're talking about, seeing him as a young player, as a Marlin. Upton said he has not seen Cabrera one time this year tweak his swing. And so many guys, even if they're slumping, they try and look for different ways to improve their swing. It doesn't happen with Cabrera because it's so natural and so good. It's all about timing. If he's slumping at all, he just needs to get that timing back.
Well, it's such a beautiful swing. Why change it? He's one of 6 players in the history of Major League Baseball to have a career average of 320 and higher, 400 home runs, and 1,500 runs batted in. And those 5 other players.
Curtis Granderson drives it up, and it is gone. Curtis Granderson, his 18th home run of the year, gets the Mets back within 6-2.
Well, I was so rudely interrupted, but I'll take it. The Mets hit a home run there. Granderson is 18th. And there's a lot of ball game left. Down 4 runs now. And this has been the problem of Boyd, the long ball. That's the 10th home run he's given up this year.
Another one to that deep portion of the ballpark here at Tiger Stadium. And it barely sneaks out just where that fence juts out. And that one is hammered down the left field line, but foul off the bat of Ty Kelly.
Just to finish my point there, 320 career batting average or higher, 400 home runs or more, 1,500 runs batted in. The other 5 players are Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Jimmy Fox, Ted Williams, Stan Musial. Thank you very much.
That company's not bad.
That's Hall of Fame company.
Oh my gosh.
He's quite a hitter.
Ty Kelly walked in the first inning and flew out to right field in the 3rd. Curtis Granderson, those 18 home runs, just 31 RBIs on the season. Kelly,
nice.
A diving play by Aviles from a knee, fires but not in time, and that's going to be an infield hit for Kelly.
Ripped down the line. New third baseman Mike Aviles makes a nice play. Ty Kelly runs extremely well. No chance to throw him out.
So that brings up Neil Walker. Full extension out of Aviles over at third.
Well, Brad Ausmus, the manager of Detroit, does not want to let this game slip away and let the Mets back in the back door or the side door. He's going to keep a close watch on his pitcher here. Got some activity beginning in that Tiger bullpen. He's not going to let this game get out of hand.
The right-hander Alex Wilson up and warming. Logan Verrett went 3 2/3, 7 hits, 6 earned runs, 2 walks, couple of strikeouts, and a hit batsman. 82 pitches, 49 strikes. Well, this game is just in the top of the 5th inning, so there is time for the Mets to try and claw their way back after what was a big bottom of the 4th inning, a 5-run bottom of the 4th inning for the Tigers. They sent 10 men to the plate. That's taken inside. Well, you would think that Nick Castellanos left the game after getting hit by that pitch in the 4th inning. That's why, with the big lead, Aviles in there at third. The 3-1 pitch on the way with Kelly leading off first, and Neil Walker draws a walk. And so the Mets now with runners at first and second with 1 out.
And that's going to get a, for the pitching coach, that is Rich Doobie, who came over from, if you recall, those years in
Philadelphia?
Philadelphia, yes. Got a left-hand batter up here, then 2 right-hand batters. If he doesn't get this lefty out in Bruce, he's going to be in for a shower and not going to be happy because a W staring him right in the eye just to get through 5.
Well, as I mentioned, lefties have hit well off Boyd this season. Coming into the night, 313. Jay Bruce homered in his last at bat, his 27th home run of the year, as we get a look at Bruce doing damage.
Fastball down, out over the plate, deepest part of the park.
So Jay Bruce with 2 on here. Takes a called strike. Bruce now with 84 RBIs on the season. Slices 1. Aviles down to a knee. 2nd to 1. Kinsler tried to turn it, and Cabrera could not hang on and pick it over at first.
Bullet right at the third baseman. Boy, Aviles has made 2 nice plays. Perfect feed, and Kinsler got to turn that. So the Mets still have a little bit of life in this inning. That's just a bullet off the bat of Bruce.
Jay Bruce reaching on the fielder's choice. So Ty Kelly at third. And Bruce at first with 2 out here, and Wilmer Flores steps to the plate. He singled last inning. Little Wilmer long ball would get the Mets back within a run.
I got to believe this is Boyd's last inning here. He's been a guy that's gone only 5 innings in his last 4 starts.
Flores, little flare. It's a fair ball down into right field. That's going to bring in Kelly. Jay Bruce racing first to third, and so Wilmer Flores gets the Mets back within 6-3.
Well, this is a cue ball, bloop and a cue for Wilmer with an RBI on top. Change up, just a little flare.
Past the outstretched arms, not really even that close, Cabrera, and so the Mets continue to claw back. They've got 2 on the board here in the 5th inning, and they're back within 6-3. And Boyd's going to get another batter in Travis d'Arnaud. And d'Arnaud takes it for a called strike. Flores now with 30 RBIs on the season. So Jay Bruce down at third. Wilmer Flores at first. Travis d'Arnaud behind in the count, 0-2. Kelly Johnson on deck. He would be next. There is activity in the Tigers bullpen, but Brad Ausmus sticking with Matt Boyd here.
He's trying to get him to lead this game with a chance of a win.
1-2 pitch on the way. Swung on and missed, and Travis d'Arnaud goes down on the 90-mile-per-hour fastball. But the Mets get a couple of back. One on the home run by Curtis Granderson as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Special Jay Bruce, $19 off ticket offer in select seating areas during the Mets' next homestand, August 9th through the 14th. Against the Diamondbacks and the Padres. That includes the Styx post-game concert on Saturday, August 13th. Redeem the special offer by going to Mets.com/Bruce. As J.D. Martinez leads it off in the bottom of the 5th inning off Jonathan Neese, who relieved Logan Verrett. Well, Terry Collins was asked when Jonathan Nice was reacquired whether he would potentially be a spot starter at times, and he said for the time being going to work out of the bullpen. But it does give the Mets some flexibility.
Well, it gives them a long
area.
guy. You know, the long reliever has been kind of forgotten in today's game, and it's good to have a guy that can come in a game like this. You're down some runs in the middle of the ball game to come in here and throw 3-4 innings and keep you hold the fort.
I think the fact that Nice had success working out of the bullpen in the postseason last year opened the Mets' eyes that he was somebody that was worth bringing back here, despite the way the divorce came to fruition. J.D. Martinez, Mike Aviles, and Justin Upton due up here in the bottom of the 5th inning for the Tigers.
So not turning that double play hurt the Tigers there. That was a big 3rd run driven in by Wilmer.
Mets 2 more home runs tonight. And that is swung on and missed on the high heat from Jonathan Nice to send down J.D. Martinez. Time now for tonight's Verizon trivia question. Who are the only 2 players with 50+ home runs in a single season as a Tiger?
Okay.
Answer coming just a little bit. Mike Aviles, his first at bat of the game as he came in for Nick Castellanos, who was hit in the hand by that pitch last inning. Aviles hitting just .208 on the season. Takes a called strike on the inside. Little bouncer along the left side and goes foul. I don't think anybody was going to make a play on that if it stayed fair. Mike Aviles played with the Cleveland Indians last season, his 3rd season in Cleveland. Versatile player, 5 different positions for Cleveland. Gives Brad Ausmus somebody who can play the infield, 3rd base, can play out in right field. And the count goes full. Keith spoke of the need for long guys out of that bullpen, but having guys like Aviles who can play so many different positions, it's a real luxury for a manager. .3-2 pitch.
Our pitchers of late have been, I should say the Mets pitchers of late have had a hard time putting hitters away when they get 2 strikes on them. Been some prolonged at bats.
Driven out to center field. Curtis Granderson backs up and makes the catch for the 2nd out. So Zach Wheeler facing live batters for the first time tonight. His first rehab start with Single-A St. Lucie win an inning. It was a rain-shortened affair for Zach because the rains came down. He gave up a run, but it was unearned. He walked 1 through 17 pitches, 11 of them for strikes. And so the first step for Zach Wheeler to make his way back here to the big leagues. First time he had pitched in a game since back in, well, he had the Tommy John surgery in March of 2015, so it's been a long time. Justin Upton hit into a double play in the 2nd, then popped out to shortstop. in the fourth. Plan for Zach Wheeler originally was to come back somewhere right after the All-Star break, but some minor setbacks along the way, and so best case scenario here, as that one's grounded to second, but right at Neil Walker. And so a 1-2-3 inning for Jonathan Neese. 3 up and 3 down as we go to the 6th. Pitchers brought to you by People's United Bank. Logan Verrett went just 3 2/3, giving up 6 runs. Matt Boyd battled his way so far through 5, giving up 3 runs as Alex Wilson, the new pitcher for the Tigers. And Kelly Johnson fouls off the first pitch from Wilson. We've just gotten word that Nick Castellanos, on that ball that he took in the hand, a non-displaced fracture. So that is tough news for him and for the Tigers. Johnson, Rivera, and Reynolds, and Johnson singles into center field to get the Mets going here in the top of the 6th inning.
Well, Johnson just continues to really do a terrific job in his role here with the Mets.
So Kelly Johnson on first, and Michael Conforto is going to pinch hit here for Rene Rivera. And he rockets one down into right field and just foul. Michael Conforto bidding for a home run. Had a chance to visit with Michael before the game today, and there's a lot of talk that he's really pressing, but he said he feels comfortable up there. Still believes in himself.
It's been a struggle for him. There's no doubt. He's had his confidence shook, but he'll be back. He'll be fine.
You've often spoken about the fact, Keith, that you went down early in your career and came back with such great success.
A lot of guys did. A lot of guys have been sent down.
Alex Wilson to Michael Conforto here in the 6th inning. That's in there for a called strike. Well, the Mets sent down Travis d'Arnaud, came back with success, came back relatively quickly. Same with Conforto. Now, can he duplicate that and get back on track here? One-two pitch. Taking the opposite way. Long run for Upton. Over, and it falls just foul.
Well, this is the Achilles heel of the Tigers. Their bullpen, they're back into their rotation, starting rotation, and their bullpen. And K-Rod's really the only guy that has had a good season in that bullpen. 31 of 33 saves on the year. Got one last night. So the Mets have an opportunity here.
Michael Conforto's last home run came on the 16th of June against Juan Nicasio of the Pirates. Count goes even at 2-2. He could certainly use one right here. Kelly Johnson leads off first. Mets fell behind 6-1 in this game. They scratched a couple of runs out, get back within 6-3, and looking to close the gap even further. Conforto takes it high, and the count goes full. Conforto hitting .221 on the season with the 10 home runs and the 32 RBIs. Payoff pitch. Hit right back up the middle and off Wilson. Saltalamacchia has no play. And man, that appeared to get Wilson right on the leg.
Shin.
And that was hit really hard off the bat of Conforto.
Man. Yeah, he's wounded. Yeah, that got him on the right shin on the side.
Oh, ouch. That was a bullet.
He's ready. He's tough. Dodge tough.
Are they a sponsor?
Or is it Ram?
Sounded good. I believe it is Ram, by the way.
Ram is Ram.
As we give out free
advertising.
Free advertising. So for Wilson, that's his push-off leg. But he's going to stay in the game. The Mets have first and second and nobody out. For Matt Reynolds, who struck out in the second inning and grounded out in the 5th. Mets began the night hitting .205 with runners in scoring position. Historically bad numbers. Only the 69 Padres and the 68 Mets went through a season worse. First pitch fouled away.
Well, we talked about the bullpens right there. You see Texas with the highest, Detroit 4th. Two last place teams. Omar Vizquel, the great shortstop.
First base coach here in Detroit. Ground ball. Iglesias goes to second for one, on to first, and in time. 6-4-3 double play turned by the Tigers.
Big time turn right here. Ball not hit that hard. Quick release from Iglesias. Great turn from Kinsler.
No wasted motion.
And there's the new sliding rule. You're not supposed to. You're just supposed to tap the second baseman. Don't want to hurt him.
That brings up Curtis Granderson. He homered in his last at bat, his 18th of the season. Well, you and I, Keith, we were in the studio for that post-game show in the postseason when Utley went into Tejada, and that's what caused all of this rule change and neighborhood play change. Rules of the game evolving, changing. Granderson takes it low. You okay over there?
I am. The first night in town, the darn air conditioning was blowing. I hate it when you're in a room and the air conditioning's blowing right on you, and I got a little bit of congestion. So I turned the grates because they're grated, and then you can turn them away from you. So last night I didn't have that issue, but sorry, that cough just came out of nowhere.
Well, you know, you can actually turn you can turn it off, the air conditioning.
Well, it was too warm last night. Tonight's cooler. I will have it off. Trust me.
2-1 on Granderson. Count evens up. Now, going back to last postseason, I just remember how incensed you were over that play. The Utley Tejada.
Oh, yes. The call was. I was more incensed over the lack of an interference call, but we don't have to go into that.
Granderson to the right side. Kinsler ranging over. And that's the third out. So the Mets threaten but get nothing as we go to the bottom half of the sixth. Jonathan East back on the mound for the Mets. He worked a 1-2-3 fifth inning after replacing Logan Barrett in the fourth, and he faces Jared Saltalamacchia with Jose Iglesias on deck, and then Ian Kinsler would follow. Well, the Tigers have 6 runs on 9 hits. Mets have 3 runs on 8 hits. Justin Wilson warming up for the Tigers. Got to figure he's next after Alex Wilson, as that one is just foul. Got hit in the leg by that wicket line drive off the bat of Michael Conforto. Mets fans, catch a flight to 2017 spring training with Delta Airlines and Delta Dugout. Visit sny.tv/Delta Dugout for details. 2-2 pitch. Popped up at a foul ground. D'Arnaud comes over. Flores chasing, but it's going to be in the dugout and bouncing into the seats and out of play. Jared Saltalamacchia had one of the big hits in this game, a 2-run single in that 4th inning when the Tigers sent 10 men to the plate, scored 5 runs on 6 hits. Another one skied. This one into center field and drifting over to right. And there's Jay Bruce to make the catch. Time now for tonight's Verizon Trivia Answer. Who are the only 2 players with 50 home runs in a single season as a member of the Tigers?
Yep.
Well, we both got Hank Greenberg. Well, there's Cecil Fielder.
We forget about Cecil Fielder. He had some phenomenal years here for the Tigers.
Well, they've got those statues up beyond the left field fence here. Glacius lays down the bunt. Nice quick off the mound for the second out.
So Jonathan doing what he's supposed to do when the Mets acquired him and chew up some innings here. We're in a DH situation, so there's no pinch hitter. So John can see himself working some serious innings in this game.
Well, Carlos Torres is somebody who worked a lot of long situations for the Mets in the past, but they have had a void in that area, and he's filling that role right now. The deal that brought him back from Pittsburgh sent Antonio Bastardo back to Pittsburgh. .34th pitch for John Neese to Ian Kinsler. Kinsler also a big part of that 4th inning. RBI single and scored.
Well, that was a golden opportunity last inning for the Mets to get a run on the board. They didn't do it. The double plays have just really hurt them. You want to peck away at the lead. You know, I mean, it's 6-4. If you get one run, you get a little bit closer. You got 3 more times at bat. You've got a very below average bullpen in the Tigers. You just hate to squander those opportunities.
Full count here on Ian Kinsler in the bottom of the 6th inning with the Tigers leading at 6-3, and that one is ripped into left field. Kelly over. Kinsler turns for second, and he's going to be in there standing up. So a double for Ian Kinsler, his 20th double of the season.
Well, Kinsler's having himself a fine little first 2 games of this series. He's a nice little player. You know, I don't get to see the American League that much. You know, we go from one division to the next each year. We hit the Central every 3rd year, every 3rd season. He's a nice player.
One of the best second basemen in all of baseball, Ian Kinsler, is Tyler Collins, who's had a really good night for Detroit. Walked in the 1st, tripled in the 3rd, and singled off Jonathan Niese in the 4th. First batter Niese faced in that 4th inning. The always dangerous Miguel Cabrera waiting on deck. Well, Tyler Collins, you know, as I mentioned earlier, has gone through his ups and downs this season, but he has been a real important player for Brad Ausmus, giving them quality games with Maben in and out of the lineup. Count goes even at 2-2. Tigers going in search of their 61st win of the season tonight. Mets beginning the night at 56 and 53. Here's the 2-2 from Nice. And that's down low to even the count. I should say to make it a full count. That one is skied down the left field line and out of play. So the Marlins are leading the Rockies in the 5th inning, 3-2, and the Cardinals are trailing the Braves 7-3 in the 7th. And that's just outside.
Oh boy.
So Tyler Collins works out his second walk of the game, and that brings up Miguel Cabrera.
And it brings just missed. And you've got big trouble up right now.
So Miguel Cabrera, who doubled in the first, flied out to right in the 3rd, and singled in the 4th. A chance to do more damage, but here comes Dan Worthen out to the mound to have a word with Jonathan Nice first.
If your folks are wondering why Terry Collins did not have a right-hander up ready for Cabrera, you will find this very interesting for a guy hitting .310. In 105 at-bats, Miguel Cabrera is hitting .238 against left-hand pitching. So how about that?
So Jonathan Nice remains in there to face Miguel Cabrera. Takes the first pitch for a called strike. So hitting .334 off righties at the start of the night.
But he's also got a 2 RBI base hit off Jonathan back in the 4th.
That misses way outside.
So the walks will kill you.
Rendon and Wilson warming in the Tigers bullpen. Rendon throws it hard. Don't always know where it's going. Cabrera, 9th season with the Tigers. Slices one foul.
I just got a text from a very dear friend that they're saying that Giancarlo Stanton hit a 504-foot home run at Coors Field.
Wow.
That's Mickey Mantle hitting it out of Yankee Stadium.
Holy cow. Now, wasn't it just the light stanchion that kept Mantle from hitting it out? Yeah.
Yes.
There was always the folklore that it would have gone out if it didn't hit, that it was still going up.
Right.
Right?
Right. And remember the baseball card that had an overview of Yankee Stadium from the side, and it had the dots of the arc of the home run?
Yes, I do remember that.
I love that card.
2-2 pitch on the way, and that's outside, so the count goes full to Miguel Cabrera. Victor Martinez waiting on deck. So Neese trying to keep this a 3-run game. Kinsler on second. Collins off first. That's hit well out to right field. Bruce on the run. And he catches up with it for the 3rd out. So the Tigers threaten, but don't get anything. Well, when in Rome, do as the Romans do, but when in Detroit, do as they do in Detroit. That's the sounds of Motown, the Motown Hall of Fame.
Barry Gordy.
Boy, changed music in so many ways.
He sure did, and started from nothing. It's a great American entrepreneurial story. Barry Gordy taking Motown Records and making it to what it became.
Justin Wilson is the new pitcher for the Tigers. He worked an inning of perfect relief in the 8th inning last night for Detroit. Facing Ty Kelly, Neil Walker, and Jay Bruce here in the top of the 7th inning. Ty Kelly walked in the 1st inning, flied out in the 3rd, reached on an infield single in the 5th, and scored the 3rd run of the game on the Flores single. Stay on top of all the latest news from Jets training camp with in-depth analysis and up-to-the-minute reports straight from Florham Park on the JetsBlog.com, part of the SNY.TV blog network. Football training camps in full swing around America. 0-2 pitch. Justin Wilson Pitched well last night, but his numbers in his past 5 games not very impressive. 0-1 with an ERA up over 6. A 28-year-old left-hander from Anaheim, California. Mets can use some base runners. And the count goes full. A big crowd here at Comerica Park tonight. Count is at 2-2, correction. Had some foreshadowing. Three-two pitch. Kelly through the right side. And so the Mets have their opening batter on here in the top of the 7th inning off Justin Wilson.
Oh, Kelly on base 3 times tonight. A surprise start. The switch hitting Kelly has drawn a walk and 2 base hits.
Brings up Neil Walker. Walked in his last at bat, singled in the 1st inning, coming off a 2-hit game last night. Fouled straight back.
Well, look at this. There it is.
Wow.
There's the Mantle baseball card.
Great work in the truck. I mean,
and that wasn't at Yankee Stadium.
No, this is not the. Looks like Sportsman's Park.
But
no, it wouldn't be, obviously.
That might be. Was that Washington where he hit that? I'm not sure.
Huh?
Washington. That would have been Griffin Stadium. Griffith Stadium.
Wow.
Yes.
Now the one we were talking about
was
earlier,
the one at Yankee Stadium.
Yankee Stadium. No ball was ever hit out of the original Yankee Stadium. But he had one that was going up, and hit the late stage.
Right. Maybe our truck can delve in there and find it. Find that one. They can find the one at Griffith Stadium.
That was impressive that they found that.
They got nothing else to do down there.
Well, are we sure they're in the truck and not on the carousel? Because they appear to be having an enormous amount of fun riding that carousel.
Well, we're going to have an enormous amount of fun with our 45-minute drive back to the hotel after this game. That is a long drive.
It is a bit of a hike here. Neil Walker, though, would like to try to get the Mets a little bit closer with Ty Kelly. Not a big lead off first. Two and two now to Neil Walker. He's been one of the hottest hitters in baseball since the All-Star break. Walker to third. Aviles ranging to his right, but he's got no play. Knocked it down. That's going to be an infield hit for Neil Walker.
Well, the Mets are in business again. And Walker with another multiple hit game continues his torrid pace since breaking out of that long slump. That's double down the line if Aviles doesn't make this play.
Well, it was in his glove and then popped out. He's quick. So the Mets have 2 on and nobody out for Jay Bruce, who homered back in the 4th inning, his 27th of the season, his 2nd as a member of the Mets.
Well, this would be a nice game for the Mets to come back and win.
They need something like this to get them going.
They need to get some players healthy. That's what they need to do, and get them back in uniform and on the field.
Wilson took something off it to even up the count. Mets are 9-12 since the All-Star break. They have not won back-to-back games since back during the 6th and 7th of July. Kelly off second. Walker off first.
Chased a bad one. All little cutters here. Actually, sliders.
Jay Bruce 3 for 18 as a member of the Mets, 2 of them being those home runs, and takes the ball on the outside. A lot being put onto the shoulders of Jay Bruce as Wilmer Flores waits on deck. He's got 2 hits, knocked in a run in the 5th inning on his 25th birthday. Here's the 2-2 offering from Wilson to Bruce. Hit to the right side. Cabrera turns, cuts down the lead runner, but no, it gets away. In going to come Kelly. Iglesias was on the bag and couldn't hang on to the baseball.
Well, now your defense gets in the way. Cabrera came up as a third baseman. He does the right thing here on the ground ball. He just makes a poor. I think it hit him in the head.
Hit Walker.
Hit him in the head.
Jeez Louise, I thought it hit Iglesias, but watch it here. It hits Walker right in the helmet.
Well, he's got the helmet, and he doesn't really run hard to third base. He had a chance to score. I don't know the extent.
But from our angle originally, it looked like it had gotten through and in and out of the glove of Iglesias, but there we can see clearly off the helmet of Neil Walker.
So that could have been a double play, and as a result, the Mets are in business.
So it's a 6-4 game as Ty Kelly scores and Walker goes on to third. And that brings up Wilmer Flores. First pitch swinging down to third, off the glove of Aviles to Iglesias, but not in time to get Bruce at second.
Boy, oh boy, is this all falling in on the Tigers. Another tough chance right there. Tough hop. But boy, the defense is letting them down. That's got to be an E5.
So Neil Walker scores to make it a 6-5 game as the Mets are now back within a run. So Bruce reaches on the fielder's choice. And then the throwing error by Miguel Cabrera. And Flores going to be aboard via the error right there. So the Tigers falling apart here in the 7th inning, but the Mets putting it in play and making things happen. Still nobody out. So that's an E5 with an RBI.
Wow, this is just you want to make a run for the division flag or a wild card, you can't play like this.
So Jay Bruce on second, Wilmer Flores on first. 2 runs in and still nobody out with Travis d'Arnaud at the plate. He has struck out twice tonight, popped out to third. Hits one to second. Kinsler to Iglesias. On to first for a double play. 4-6-3 as Bruce moves over to third. And the double plays come back to hurt the Mets again.
Well, that's the second one they've hit into in this game. And that is unfortunate.
So the tying run is now 90 feet away with Kelly Johnson up there facing Justin Wilson. Mets were down 6-1. They've cut it to 6-5.
Mets have no right-handed bench. Decimated with right-handed injuries, right-handed bat injuries.
Kelly Johnson, who singled in his last at bat, right at Kinsler, and that's going to do it. But the Mets get a little bit closer. They get 2 runs, cut the lead to 6-5 as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Chevy, Jake Arrieta, 8 innings of no-run baseball for the Tigers in a 4-0 Tigers. For the Cubs in a 4-0 win over the A's. Ross Stripling, 5 innings. Scoreless baseball for the Dodgers. And Steven Strasburg, tough night. He was in search of his 16th win of the year, but lasted just 4 2/3. Giants lead at 5-0. That game is in the top of the 8th inning. Well, putting on a sweatshirt is usually not difficult, but Justin Wilson, making it a chore. He gets it on them.
Wouldn't it be much easier just to have a button-up jacket like the old days? Jeez.
The old satin button-ups.
Yeah, Hansel Robles makes his appearance. The Mets are back in this game. This would be a tremendous win. Robles, you see his numbers. He got a little bit rattled in that Yankee series at Yankee Stadium. Teixeira got into his head and he got a little flustered out there. I look for him to have a bounce back outing here tonight.
So Hansel Robles here in the bottom of the 7th inning, facing Victor Martinez. J.D. Martinez waits on deck. First pitch swinging, fouled out of play.
And a nice job by Jonathan Neath. 2 1/3 innings. Shut the door. I did give up the 2 RBI base hit, 2 inherited runners in the 4th inning. But shut the door, at least held the fort, and enabled the Mets to get back in this ball game.
Boy, that is a rocket out to center field, and Granderson over to make the catch for the first out.
Well, there was concern whether Curtis can play center field, and so far he's made all the plays.
Well, he's got familiarity in this ballpark.
Well, more than anything else, he got speed. He has speed to cover some ground.
35 years old, still has pretty good speed. He's got the wheels as J.D. Martinez. Swings and misses. He's already struck out twice tonight. Singled and scored in the fourth. Tigers got 5 runs in the fourth inning. They sent 10 men to the plate. Open a 6-1 lead, and the Mets have slowly but surely found their way back into this game, thanks in part to the Tigers. They've committed 3 errors on the night. One pitch from Robles to Martinez, and that's outside. Is this the first time we've seen Robles on the mound since he had that little dust-up with Mark Teixeira?
Yep, this is his last outing.
Did you mention that? I think you did.
Yes.
Well, Teixeira announcing yesterday he's going to retire at the end of this season. Count is even, 2-2 with 1 out. Bottom 7. Mike Aviles waits on deck. He replaced Nick Castellanos. Castellanos suffered a fractured hand when he was hit by a pitch in the fourth inning. Payoff pitch way outside. J.D. Martinez is aboard. Final game of this series coming up tomorrow afternoon. Our pregame coverage getting underway at 12:30 only here on SNY. Got to look at the city pitching probables in that game. Jacob deGrom going to be on the mound for the Mets. Anibal Sanchez for the Tigers. 2 pitchers going in very different directions at the moment. deGrom has been tremendous, and Sanchez barely hanging onto a spot in that Tigers rotation. Aviles takes a called first strike. He lined out to right field.
He made a first 3 plays. He made a couple nice plays in the field, and then made the error that could have been a double play.
He really holds that bat high over his head. Wags it around. Hit to center field. Curtis Granderson moves back, then comes in, and that is the second out. So runner remains at first with Justin Upton coming up for the 4th time tonight. Upton's batting average down to .239. He's over 3 with that double play he hit into in the second. And then the fly out, ground out in the 5th inning. Hansel Robles trying to keep this a 1-run game.
Well, Upton has not done much in this series at all. He's hit into 2 double plays, 0 for 3 last night. He's got an 0 for 3 tonight.
Hit on the ground. Reynolds flipping over to Walker, and so Hansel Robles gives up the walk, but that's it. Still a 1-run game. CJ, thank you. We get a check of the Mets box scores presented by StubHub. Mets have 10 hits, a couple of home runs on the night. One off the bat of Jay Bruce, another off the bat of Curtis Granderson. As we go now to the top of the 8th inning, Mets trailing the Tigers 6-5. Shane Green is the new pitcher for Detroit. Pitched an inning of scoreless baseball last night. Pitched a 7th inning, a scoreless 7th inning for the Tigers.
Conforto's second at bat. Base hit in his first at bat up the middle. Line drive off the shin of the pitcher,
Alex Wilson.
Yes.
And man, he was hobbled, but he was tough. He stayed in there, made his way through the inning. Conforto fouls it back and out of play. So Michael Conforto knocked a couple of doubles off the wall in left field against the Yankees, but he's been pretty quiet since then as James Loney waits on deck to pinch hit. Well, Shane Green has become one of Brad Ausmus's go-to guys in the 7th and 8th inning this year. Made 3 starts this season, but has worked primarily out of the bullpen. Here's the 1-2 now to Conforto. And he ties him up, but he goes down swinging for the first out.
Slider down and in. This has been the problem. Chasing the bad pitches. He's just been speeding up.
So that brings up James Loney pinch hitting. He's got a 12-game road hitting streak. Hitting .326 in those dozen games. Couple of home runs, 9 RBIs. He's been the Mets' most consistent hitter. First pitch over shortstop into left field, and so James Loney remains red hot for the Mets, and the Mets have a base runner in the 8th.
Well, Loney has done a heck of a job, and he's a nice addition to this ball club. He has done everything what's been asked of him. Goes with that sinker right where it's pitched.
So that brings up Curtis Granderson. Loney does not have good speed over at first. Granderson hit his 18th home run of the year in the 5th inning. Got the Mets back within 6-2, and they've continued to chip away. Takes a called strike.
It's a hard thrower, this Green, and he's got a good hard slider. He had an impressive inning of work last night.
Granderson right to Cabrera. It's a fair ball. Steps on the bag. And that's going to be a double play as Loney doesn't have a chance. So the Mets get a hit, but no more as Cabrera takes care of that. Go to the bottom of the 8th. It's a 6-5 game. Ending double play, but Curtis didn't see it that way. He thought this ball down the first base line, he thought it was foul, Keith.
Well, it's difficult to tell. Curtis has a better angle than we do. I know that if we were at home, we would have all the cameras necessary to show it to you, but Curtis obviously feels that this ball was foul, and as the umpire, you know, he can't make that call. And a little bit of an argument. Terry comes out.
between innings with the crew chief, the first base umpire, Bill Miller. But that's not a reviewable call. We saw that the other night. That is not a call that is reviewable. So Hansel Robles back out for another inning, facing the bottom of the Tigers order, beginning with Jared Saltalamacchia.
Well, that's what happens when you have to guard the line. We see a lot of teams today, they don't guard the line. When you have a 7th inning on, tying or winning run at the plate or on the bases, and there's a case where you guard the line and you're not. That's a double down the line. The Mets are in business. Loney stays at first. And Flores, Wilmer moves over to shortstop.
1-2 pitch. It's popped up on the infield. Shallow outfield. Flores goes back. Settles under it for the first out.
A lot of wind, a little swirling wind.
It's picked up. So that brings up Jose Iglesias, the shortstop. Takes it up high. And Kinsler waiting on deck. Coming up tonight on Geico Sports Night, following the post-game show, the latest on A-Rod and the Yankees. They've called a press conference for tomorrow at Yankee Stadium. Latest on training camp, both the Jets and the Giants, and the Olympics in full swing in Rio. All the latest coming up. Geico Sports Night. So Robles ahead in the count. 1-2. Iglesias reached on an infield single in the 3rd. Popped out to right in the 4th and grounded back to the pitcher in the 6th. Robles trying to keep this a 1-run game, give the Mets a better chance in the 9th inning. Lined right at James Loney, and that's the 2nd out. Looking ahead to the top of the 9th, the Mets have Ty Kelly, Neil Walker, and Jay Bruce scheduled. So the 2, 3, and 4 hitters. But first, Ian Kinsler with 2 out, nobody on here in the bottom of the 8th inning. There's K-Rod, Francisco Rodriguez getting set to work the 9th inning. Picked up his 31st save of the season last night. Here's the 1-1. Just outside. Sellout crowd here in Detroit tonight, 41,053 to see the Mets and the Tigers, middle game of this 3-game series. Kinsler's been tough on the Mets tonight. And takes a called strike to even the count at 2. That just misses, and the count goes full. Tyler Collins waiting on deck for the Tigers. And so Robles, he's become a trusted late inning member of this Mets bullpen. Fouled straight back at man, just to the right of us, Keith.
Yes, it was. I had my eye right on it. Don't worry, Gary, I'll save you.
Well, I figure with the Gold Glove first baseman right next to me, I feel like I'm in very good hands.
That was like less than 10 feet to our right.
I feel very confident with you next to me. Three-two pitch from Robles to Kinsler. And this one might...
No, it's over.
Well,
us.
it's just over us. Now, so it's Citi Field.
We've never had
you
anything.
don't get balls, right?
We have not had anything close.
I've been up to the booth, but obviously never done a game there. So is it the angle?
It's the angle. We have an overhead. The overhang comes out extends out in front of us that offers us protection from anything that's up in the air.
There we are. See us in the corner.
Oh.
So one just to the right of us and one just above us. 3-2 pitch. Do it again. Hit out to center field. Granderson. Long run. Catches up to it. And makes the catch for the third out. And so Hansel Robles keeps it a one-run game. K-Rod coming on for the ninth. Thank you. All right, fellas. Francisco Rodriguez on to try and close it out for the Tigers.
Gave up a run last night on a base hit. Wild pitch advanced the runner to second. It was a leadoff base hit. A ground ball advanced the runner to third, and a ground ball scored him. Mets lost by a run. It was an insignificant run, I guess, after the game was over. But here he is, a real save situation.
Ty Kelly leads it off for the Mets. Kelly's got 2 hits and a walk on the night. Singled and scored in the 5th inning. Singled and scored again in the 7th. 34-year-old Francisco Rodriguez and a swing and a miss. Rodriguez, the Venezuelan native. Neil Walker and then Jay Bruce.
Well, one thing that makes K-Rod so effective is that he has this big motion with all these quick, like he's going to throw it through a brick wall, and he has that great split finger, the changeup, off-speed pitch that has made him so effective over the years. Over 400 saves. Quick pitch.
Right back up the middle and right back to Francisco Rodriguez, who turns and fires to Miguel Cabrera for the first out.
Quick pitch to him.
The quick pitch from K-Rod, then the quick reflexes to turn back on his follow through to get the first out. So that brings up Neil Walker. Mets down to their final 2 outs here in the 9th inning. Jose Iglesias shading up the middle. And first pitch swung on into left field. Upton comes in and makes the catch for the second out. So the crowd coming to their feet here at Comerica Park with Jay Bruce right on cue, stepping to center stage. Bruce, his 27th home run of the year in the 4th inning, his second as a Met. Hammers one through the left side with the shift on, and so the Mets have life.
Well, nice hitting by Bruce. If you don't have a shift, this is a 6-3 on your scorecard. Nice hitting, keep the ball rolling. You're not going to get anything to hit out of the ballpark. And now Flores is up.
Pinch hitter.
And it's the right thing to do, Diaza.
Alejandro Diaza pinch hitting for Wilmer Flores. If Diaza can keep it going, Travis d'Arnaud waits on deck.
He gets so much movement and he just has that motion. I just know it's just so deceptive. Like he's going to throw it through a brick wall.
Mets fell behind 6-1, scratched a couple of runs to make it 6-3, then 6-5, and here they are in the 9th with a man on first and 2 outs facing K-Rod. He throws over to first, keep Jay Bruce close. That one is sliced through the left side, and Diaza with a base hit. Mets have runners at first and second with 2 outs.
How about this? Nice hitting, Diaza going right with it.
So Terry Collins goes to his bench. Diaza delivering, and now Travis d'Arnaud, who has had a tough night, struck out twice, popped out to third, and hit into a double play in the 7th. A chance to redeem himself right here. So Jay Bruce off second, Diaza at first, and Travis d'Arnaud up at the plate facing Francisco Rodriguez.
Nice block by Saltalamacchia. That is the go-ahead run, obviously, at first base. So making it tough on K-Rod, the Mets, for a second straight night. Speed on the bases, a double away from taking the lead.
The crowd on its feet here in Detroit. And a called strike to even the count at 1-1.
And you can see how d'Arnaud gets out in front. He gets caught up in that motion of K-Rod. He's up with that pitch. He's been up with his splitter a little bit.
Here's the 1-1. Swung on and missed. And the Mets are now down to their final strike.
That was a good one right there.
One and two on d'Arnaud. Hit to the right side, and it's through the right side. Jay Bruce coming to the plate. Here's the throw, and here's the tag, and Bruce is out at the plate to end the game.
They're going to appeal this. They have to, just on general principles. Did he get his foot in? I'm not sure, Gary.
J.D. Martinez with a pretty good throw, but let's watch it again here.
And here's a case where the catcher cannot block the plate. He's safe.
Let's see.
I don't know if his foot ever hit the plate, the lead foot. And they are not reviewing this call.
He's not blocking the plate. Or is he? Oh, he didn't touch. Never touched.
Wow.
What a finish.
And so J.D. Martinez guns down Jay Bruce at the plate to end this game in dramatic fashion, and a heartbreaking defeat for the Mets.
Perfect throw by J.D. Martinez. Oh my word.
The Mets out hit the Tigers 14-10. Come back from 6-1 down, have a chance there in the ninth inning, but J.D. Martinez breaks the Mets' heart as he gets Jay Bruce to finish it off. More to come here from Comerica Park. As we watch it again, Martinez coming up throwing on the d'Arnaud base hit. And Jay Bruce out at the dish as Saltalamacchia puts on the tag, and